stream has been started to. Have you read how the camera control works?
Yes, just briefly.
Yeah, okay. So that should work.
It's on auto cam, or I hit the control function to then make it a manual swapping cam.
Yeah. So drivers get into the cars. I hope that everything works.
I will.
There's one Ferrari. All Ferraris are gone. 2 Fords are left. 1 Lola.
Alrighty, here we are.
When this works, this will be awesome. So the cars are already on the start-finish line.
I do see them on the grid. Yep.
Well, there's a ping in the upper right corner. Should I remove it, or it's too late now? Or
it's probably fine.
is it the right? Yeah, seem to be correct. The starting lineup, or?
Yes, it does appear to be.
Ah, very cool. When server manager works, it's very, very cool. So I will leave you when the race starts, okay?
Awesome. I'm just gonna get up the instructions for the camera swaps.
All cars are in. Just 1 Lola is missing until now.
Awesome.
How many drivers do we have at the moment? 20, 21?
Does look like quite a lot.
20. To the right, you should move to.
Can I just listen here when I'm in here, or how does this work?
So you can listen, but anything you say is going to be on the stream because the stream computer.
I will
account
just
is in
listen here.
Yeah.
I will just listen here.
Okay.
Does this not affect the driving style, dude?
Can get worse now.
Oh god.
You just need to pull me over then when you want to talk to me into the other camera.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 50 seconds only, guys.
Very cool. There's just 1 Lola missing. I don't know who is missing.
And the stream is up, so we are pretty much live now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Alrighty. Let me go ahead and get out the stream camera content switching instructions.
So, everyone, welcome to the first 2.4 hours race at Le Mans. It's our first long endurance race we do with THR Racing, and Ted is your commentator for this race today.
Hello, everybody.
Half of the race.
Welcome to 2.4 hours, and the lights are up. And we're off to a slow start from Zenalia on pole there, and one of the Ferraris not moving in the back. And that's unfortunate. We'll have to check on what happened with that later. It looks like Sergio Moro, the builder of many excellent vintage circuits for Assetto Corsa in F3 Classic tracks, had officially disconnected after stalling on the grid. Thus falling back in the lowest running high-class car all the way towards the back of the grid, most likely damage, and the team Pitman Udry yielding a few positions in order to try to stay clean. Front-running Class 1 Ferrari is actually dropping back after initially having pole position in the Mackenzie Shepherd and Ted Ho piloted car, with Shepherd on board for first and has moved all the way into third position behind Zenalia and Beal. Meanwhile, the scrapping continues back for Class 1 as the power advantage of the GT40 Mark IVs and Lola T70 Mark IIIs with their American starts to show its true colors. They can have about an extra 15 kilometers an hour of speed advantage over the Ferraris. However, the Ferrari does have superior brakes and excellent hand. Occasionally be exploited. Only issue with that the Ferrari does seem to pick the nose up at speed, a lot of drivers are complaining about due to the poor aerodynamics. So in higher speed corners, it actually is not as quick as the heavier American machine, surprisingly. Out front of the order is now Zenalia, Beal, Franglais, Kaminsky, and Shepard, as Zenalia has made a move on Beal down the back straight, GT40 being the fastest Class 1 car in a straight line. Shepard started to come under some pressure from other cars and has lost 2 positions on the run down the main straight on the first lap already. Work being undone there. Meanwhile, further back in Class 2, Gilman, who initially started on pole position, has fallen back 2 positions, losing the lead to Stavros in class and the Kerr Eggert Porsche 906, and one of the Class 1 cars is off. Looks like William has come off at the international hairpin and hit the barriers in front of the Class 2 traffic. Everybody trying to make it through. Okay, he's holding the brakes down and letting the other cars by, which is what he should do. And it looks like everybody through cleanly as he turns the car around with a spin flick and gets going. Car of Dalby also dropping back towards the tail end of the Class 2 crowd, now being followed by the camera here in the Jägermeister entry. And Cooper making up a position on Beanley in the faster Lola through Indianapolis. So hectic first lap for the 2.4 hours here as the Class 1 leaders are still scrapping for position. Beal coming back on Zenalia using the superior acceleration of the lighter car on the way towards Maison Blanche. Zenalia is going to have to yield the position as Beal comes by. No room for 2 cars to run 2 abreast through there. And Beasley now applying some pretty significant pressure to the car of Shepard. Maison Blanche. The Ferrari braking later. Cleaner line. Faster cornering speed, but now about to be caught as the power of the American is on. Meanwhile, Knechtel starting the car of Knechtel and Moose on his way. And Scheller's Porsche 906 through Maison Blanche using the power advantage there. Porsche tucked up well behind. As we have some close racing up front in Class 1 as Franglais and Zenalia are fighting for second and third. As the previously damaged white Porsche of Dalby that went off at the hairpin on the first lap exiting the pits caused a little bit of an accidental traffic blockage. Meanwhile, Scheller and Moose still fighting quite rapidly for the lead up front. First lap, already a lot of people starting to scrap for position and maybe, hopefully, start to settle down eventually. Dalby yielding on the back straight out of the final section of the first sector.
Hi Ted, I have Pitman speaking. I have some information from Sergio. He has left the race because he had a problem with his wheel. He tries... Yeah, it's a pity. He tries to... he disconnected again. He tries to solve it. I hope he's able to get back on track. It's not too late for this long race, or?
No, it's a very, very long race. That's exactly what we're looking at, as a matter of fact. Just looking at the raw pace of the cars, it seems as if the Lola is quite easy to drive compared to the Ford. A lot of mistakes coming from the Ford and Ferrari drivers due to the older cars being a little bit more primitive to drive. As Beanley gets by Shepard, he's not going to waste time defending and costing himself the extra speed. We are definitely looking at a case of the American cars drinking a little bit more fuel than the Italian V12. And then the Ferrari also having faster pit stops and maybe not requiring tires because of the hardness of the older tires compared to the 70s prototypes. So we'll have to see once the first pit stop cycle comes through. Predictions for pit stops are going to be on about lap 10 to lap 14 will be the pit window for the Class 1 faster cars. Kaminsky now on Zenalia for second in Class 1. Side by side down through the braking zone for Indianapolis here. Quite scary. And Beal leads out front in the steady Lola. Definitely not the faster of the 2 Class 1 cars, with the Ford GT40 appearing to be the superior all-around car. However, the Lola is quite stable and nice to drive. It's a good drive for the younger driver. Kaminsky and Zenalia appear to have swapped positions yet again on the way out of the section known as Indianapolis and are slowing each other down. So Franglais, Beanley, and Shepard, as well as the second place Ferrari of Stevenson and Cooper are gaining on both of them up front here. They could be slowing each other down quite significantly by scrapping in this way. Peas Flambe running last in Class 2 currently after unfortunately being caught up in the start incident, starting to make up a little bit of time. The gap at the end of lap 1 incident has now come down to 7, and they are catching the car of Sinobelde and Gurkon.
Hey Ted, may I ask what happened to William?
Not entirely sure what happened to William, but looking at the start, it appears that maybe he was either caught up in the issue at the hairpin on the end of the first lap or on the start.
Thanks.
You are welcome.
You too.
Frungley and Beanley still continuing to scrap slightly, backing themselves up into the car of Shepard and Stevenson. That's going to be an interesting fight between the cars of Ho and Shepard and Cooper and Stevenson. They are the fastest of the Ferraris currently in the field. However, the Ferrari is significantly slower than the other two cars, but has faster pit stops, so it's going to be interesting to see how the pit stop strategy cycles out. It appears as though Shepard's car has a little bit of damage, either from some side-to-side contact or maybe scraping a barrier. Could cause some aerodynamic issues here. As we come down the straight, he's going to be overtaking the car quite easily. Very textbook overtake. And the car's again pulling away from them up front with the extra 20 kph the Ford GT40 does have over the Ferraris. So continuing to fight in Class 1 up here, the positions have shuffled. Some drivers starting as low down as 7th or 8th, climbing up to 3rd, and relinquishing those positions back down to their original starting position. So quite interesting so far in Class 1. Still side by side as we come down the Mulsanne straight here. Shepard covering into the kink at the back of the Mulsanne straight, and Cooper being forced to yield the position. Meanwhile, Gilman is starting to recover back up front. He has closed a significant portion down onto Stavros, and now the fight for the lead of Class 2 begins early on. The Shelby Daytona Coupe having a significant power advantage over the Porsche 906 and gaining down the Mulsanne straight. Meanwhile, Cooper and Shepard continue their battle up front in the front running Ferraris 6th and 7th overall in Class 1. Gilman on Stavros. They're still side by side after the kink. No overtake has been made yet. Looks like Gilman's going to be forced to tuck in behind, and I can only imagine the competition with Shelby, for being much heavier, does have a larger brake run-up, so he might not be able to secure the position before the airport. He does not. They are still tucked in behind, but here comes the acceleration of the large V8. Meanwhile, the fight continues in front of Class 1. And the move by Gilman on Stevanos, and he goes by. Clean move, and now he has the braking zone for Indianapolis in the more technical section at the back of the circuit to create a gap. Meanwhile, Shepard and Cooper still absolutely glued together, not to tip. Up front now, working lap 3 of this 2.4-hour race. We are about 10 minutes in. Still close together, Shepard and Cooper. Out of Tête Rouge. And down the Honduras straight. Now both catches on Beanie up front yet again, as the driver of the GT40 appears to struggle a little bit just on pure pace compared to the slower Ferraris behind. It appears as though the Chevron Lola of Kuzuna and Monspano is actually catching up to the car currently piloted by Shepard and the car currently piloted by Cooper. So we have 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th overall in the faster car class, currently within 2 seconds of each other up front. And Sergio Loro has managed to fix his issue with his wheel and has reconnected, 2.1 laps down on the leader, but still in the race. Excellent, excellent, excellent news, hopefully on the pit stop cycle, because his car required a little bit less fuel for missing the first couple laps. He can find a good strategy and make his way back up as the race progresses. He also will have clean air running out in back of the field alone and not have to worry about fighting the other cars the way that the Ferraris currently up front are slowing each other down by doing. Up front, Gilman has extended his lead to 1.5 seconds over Stavros, who leads the car of Kerr and Eggert by 1.8. Knechtel, Moose, Fundel, and Scheller's cars are all within 5 seconds of each other in 3rd through 5th in Class 2. And Willian still appears to be a little bit further down the order after fixing the damage to, I believe he is in a Porsche 330. Shepard out of Indianapolis. It appears as though Cooper was a little bit wide on that run through the corner. Close racing still going up front as they are catching Beasley through the more technical sections of the course and then being pulled away from down under a straight lap after lap. Quite an interesting battle we have going on here in Class 1. And Beal and Zenalia are now tailing each other rather closely for the lead. Zenalia having made up a couple of seconds while also being caught by Hubert Kaminski. The gaps between first and second are 7.4 seconds, and then from second to third is 3.5. So they are starting to come back closer towards each other as we are now working lap 4, about 15 minutes into the race. Cara, Pittman, and Dudry having a close fight with Franglais for 8th and 9th overall currently. Franglais does appear to be gaining quite significantly from the more high-speed portions of the track. The defense from Pittman or Dudry, I believe, currently in the car for the first stint. There is no defense, and the GT40 simply drives on by on the power. The incredible Detroit Steel, that V8, making a pretty significant difference in the outcome of that exchange. And Gilman is off. Gilman has had an off from the lead of Class 2 and has lost 4 positions and is now running in 5th position as opposed to having the lead. While up front in Class 2 is still now the order is Stavros, Kerr, and Eggert, the car of Knechtel and Moose, and then Gilman after his off. Hopefully he can recover and is undamaged. Down the Honduras straight, car of Shepard and Ho still fighting the car of Stevenson and Cooper. Shepard at the wheel of the white and black and red Ferrari. Cooper at the wheel of the red and black Ferrari. That skin inspired by a Michele Alboreto skin from 1980s Formula 1 racing. Quite excellently made. Nose to tail as they come through the kink. And down the way to the hairpin at Honduras. The defense is unfortunately too late from Shepard. Cooper is alongside. Zenalia and Kaminski still fighting for second and third now up front in the front of the field in Class 1. And we appear to be having some sort of technical issue with the broadcast. Please hold for a minute. So we are back with the broadcast commentary. We apologize for any delay that may have inconvenienced you. Up front, Kuzma Munchbanor in the Chevron Rolla, still gaining on Ho and Shepard's car. Ooh, tapping the wall at the exit of the first corner there. Can't possibly have not picked up some damage, as the car of Cooper has pulled away from Shepard by about a second, but they do run rather close as they both still chase in the slightly faster vehicle. The race up front still heating up. It does appear that the car of Hubert Kaminsky has one wheel sticking out of the fender, barely held on by the suspension. Must have gone off the safety ramps at the end of the slower corner leading onto the Honduras straight. They have been known to completely destroy the suspensions of some vehicles, but it does appear that he will be able to limp back to the pits without calling a tow vehicle. Oh, and Loro, unfortunately, clouding one of the barriers in the chicane at the first portion of the lap as well. Some of the Class 1 cars are apparently just so difficult to drive. Many drivers are coming undone. Bienli going off at the kink and taking a trip through the gravel due to his suspension damage. Excuse me, that is the car of Kaminsky, not Bienli. Bienli by on Kaminsky here, who is struggling quite badly in the braking zone to bring that car to a rest with the severe damage. Unfortunately, at the Virage de Honduras hairpin, he has had to go completely off. And the Chevron of Cousineau and Monchpoin are also off onto the safety ramp there, the sand bunker. It's very, very unfortunate. Many drivers in Class 1 coming undone in a very, very short period of time on the same lap. Meanwhile, the gap between Cooper and Shepard has increased to about 1.4 seconds over the course of this lap. These two cars in qualifying were exchanging times within about half a second of each other, so we expect the fight for fastest Ferrari in Class 1 to be quite hotly contested as the race comes on. An element of strategy or consistency will come into play, especially as the cars begin to work the night shift. The day-night transition visible to the drivers due to a server-side app called Sol, which adds shading and day-night transitions to Assetto Corsa, and is completely free, by the way. One of the ways we are able to run this endurance race. Start time is 1:30 p.m. local, and the time will be going through a full 24-hour cycle in the 2.5 hours of this race. Gilman starting to recover slightly. Kaminsky in the pits having that suspension damage fixed to his vehicle, and he is now ahead of Kaminsky in 17th overall, as William is also making up time due to his off early in the run. The gap between the car of Cooper and the car of Shepard now increased to 2.2 seconds at the end of this lap, and they are starting to be pulled slightly by Bienli, who is no longer being held up by other cars. Has managed to work himself all the way up to within 1.5 seconds of the car of Shepard in Class 1, and Simo Dalby and Johannes Fundal are starting to fight for the higher positions. This would be second and third for the final steps on the podium now that we are working lap 6. In Class 2 after Gilman's off, who is still recovering, closer to the car of Klopstick and Vinny, the Peas Flambe entry, making a pretty significant amount of time up. You can see simultaneously here through the Virage de Honduras. And Pitman making a little bit of time on Dudry currently in the car after being overtaken earlier, but managing to hold station. Currently catching the car of William. You can see his badly damaged Ferrari after his off at the Virage de Honduras. I believe it was in fact him who went off on either lap 1 or lap 2 and spun in front of the Class 2 traffic. He is pretty significantly damaged, and I believe he pitted to repair the majority of it. But that car apparently still running a little bit off pace. He is about to go a lap down to Pitman and Dudry here. Up front, Fundell making a pretty large mistake coming through the Tête Rouge S, the second right-hander, and being closed up by the car. Oh, excuse me, that is Starvos in front, and Fundell and Scheller in front, and that is the car of Simo Dalby behind. I am misreading the broadcast overlays here. Cooper still pulling ahead a decent amount as the cars do make their way through. And Lillian still ahead of the car of Pitman and Dudry here. Limping around with his damage through the Maison Blanche. Doing quite well, all things considered. An excellent display of spirit and endurance racing here. Hopefully, if some misfortune befalls others, as does often have in endurance races, he can stay connected. Now, Class 2 starting to get interesting. The car of Knechtel and Moose catching Simo Dalby and Gurkan, and also the car of Fundell and Scheller in front. So we do have a 3-man fight at the head of Class 2 currently. They're about 20 seconds back from the leading Class 2 car of Stavros, currently, as they come out of the Virage de Mulsanne. Swiss driver Fundell leading quite a clean race in the early portions here. See what he is capable of. Very, very experienced driver. Does run a rather fantastic historic racing history league in which you get to roleplay a different driver. He's very passionate, he's very involved, he loves his classic racing. And you can see him sliding that Porsche 906 around as slightly further back the car of Knechtel is starting to put pressure on the car of Dalby and Gurkan. Not quite aware of who is behind the wheel of that car at the time because the indicator... Ooh, and that is Kuzunov in Class 1. Unfortunately, leading himself off in his Lola Chevron, off the banking, and then spinning as he gets back on course. That car clearly quite badly damaged. Oh, unfortunately pulling out in front of another Class 1 car there. That's untoward. He might not have control of that vehicle anymore. Meanwhile, the battle continues. As my little team viewer thing telling is currently the freeview version. Puts it for me. Luckily, you can't see that on the broadcast. It's not just for me. Knechtel, I believe, currently in the car. I am hearing from the team themselves that Johannes is not currently in the car, and Scheller has actually started the Porsche 906, piloted by Historic Racing League members, and that I am not the most intelligent man in the world. However, this is known. Currently, Woro still valiantly soldiering on as the car of Cooper has managed to suck up all the way to Beanley, currently running solo in his Class 1 Ford GT40 Mark IV. Battle here will be quite interesting. Now, this might allow Shepard to catch slightly in the second front-running Ferrari. A little bit of a glance at Maison Blanche will put him significantly offline. He does dip the grass on the exit, losing a fair amount of time coming back through. As we see just further back in his Lola Chevron Chevrolet, I'm starting to catch up to the back of the Tarnhorn racing car with Dudry currently at the wheel for the first stint. This could potentially get quite interesting as we see the faster cars will have to stop a little bit sooner than the Ferraris, and the Ferraris have faster pit stops. These position fights between the Ferraris, Lolas, and GT40s, if it's a combination of a Ferrari and any other car, they won't be racing each other due to the pit stop cycling, which will be interesting to see what happens later. However, a Lola and a GT40 fighting each other means they are actually fighting each other for a position on track, as they will come out of the pits after stopping at similar times in the race with similar pit stop lengths and fueling times. So those battles are for position. Beanley, in my opinion, a smart move currently would be to actually let this position go to Cooper, and then if he falls under threat from Shepard, also be in the position. Ooh, unfortunately, a little bit of a debacle between the Lotus Chevron and one of the front-running Class 2 Porsche Rhino 6s of Dalby and Gurkhan here. Knechtel being given an opportunity by one car being pushed wide, and taking a look on the brakes. However, the Chevrolet, big, heavy American, not quite checking up in time for the corner as one of the 906s goes through. And at the head of all three of them, Scheller at the wheel of the black and yellow 906 being mugged by all three cars. And those other Class 2s, I'm not sure if he had a problem exiting the quarter, or maybe he has some damage or is out of fuel. He's sucked back up to all three cars as one of the GT40s gets involved. There's some significant weaving going on as we're three abreast, and one of the Class 2 906s was put off, Dalby off the circuit and Fundle back by, and Knechtel, the real winner here, now ahead of both other cars. Not quite sure what happened here, but really quite an interesting exchange. And a look by Scheller. There, and Dalby also blowing the corner at Indianapolis slightly. All three of these cars starting to trip over each other just a little bit as they scrap for second in Class 2. This is allowing Stavros to pull away his Shelby competition up at the head of the field. And Bealey making a small mistake up front, no longer under as much pressure from Cooper as he was initially, most likely pulling a huge advantage down the Honduras straight. Losing a little bit of time here in these slower corners. This has allowed the car of Shepard to pull up to within 1.3 seconds of Cooper after initially falling back to a gap of about 2 seconds. So this scrap 4th, 5th, 6th in the Class 1 order could potentially merit a higher finishing position later in the race as long as the drivers can remain clean and not cause any damage that might be long-lasting. It'll be quite interesting to see how this plays out when the first pit stop cycle occurs between lap 10 and 14 here. Meanwhile, Knechtel continuing to come under pressure from Scheller in his car. As I have been told, it is still Scheller in the Porsche 906 run by the HRL team through the S's. And now here a move out of Maison Blanche has been attempted and then denied by the power of the Ford GT40 of Beanley. Best lap, second of the last 2 laps in a row out of Shepard, is considerably climbing either from the toe or potentially the scent of blood in the water from Cooper being held up by Beanley as they fight for Class 1 positions here. And the move down the final corner before the long straight. And the camera switching to other cars right as we move for position happens. Hubert Kaminsky in one of the Class 1 cars starting to come by lap traffic here as we are looking lap 6 or 7. Lap traffic should begin to occur for the leaders probably pretty soon. Although some cars from Class 1 that have fallen back are already dealing with that issue. Interesting, some cars on different strategies now due to issues early. Loro still soldiering on, and his stricken Ferrari appears to be slowing down the run to Maison Blanche out of Indianapolis, potentially with an issue, maybe a broken gearbox or out of fuel. Unfortunately, it looks like he might have to abandon that car before he makes it back to the pit lane. And meanwhile, Stavros leading by quite an amazing amount up front. Oh, and off at the right-hander before Indianapolis and into the barrier hard while still in the lead. That's exasperating for his race. Have to see if there's any long-term ramifications for that. That is not what you want to have happen when you're trying to set the pace out front in class. Perhaps simply a mistake from falling into a rhythm and getting complacent. or maybe a mistake caused by the pressure of leading. And yes, that car is absolutely stricken as Snecko goes into the Class 2 lead. And Stavros being passed then by Scheller and then soon to come under pressure from Dalby. And the battle continues as now Scheller is also coming by. Stavros appears to maybe potentially recover from what damage he may have had, staying relatively close to the car of Scheller through Maison Blanche there. And here we go. The lap traffic starts to come into play for the Class 1 runners who are catching up to the fight for the Class 2 lead. Beanley appearing to take advantage of that. Car's now free of rest as Cooper comes through. Hopefully no issues for Shepard, who gives them a quite large amount of room. Loro appears to have managed to pit and have his damage repaired, so he is now back on pace in Class 1 and soldiering on. Great job for him. Schnechtel, leader of Class 2, now leads the fight of Beanley, then Cooper, then Shepard down onto the Honduras straight. They won't be able to catch the Beanley here, but this did give both of these slightly slower Ferraris a little bit of an advantage. They appear to have managed the traffic slightly better than Beanley and are now catching as Jerkass goes to put a very, very late dive on the Class 1 car, RB Drive, overshooting the corner, apparently catching at least a little bit of barrier at the second right, and potentially the left on exit as well as Dudry counterattacks. He should be able to go by him here as Hubert Kamansky gets by... as Jerkass gets by Hubert Kamansky, making his way back into the fight in Class 1. Meanwhile, Dudry and Dudry and Kaminsky continue to fight it out down the back as well as Jerkass also being involved. All these cars running within a couple of seconds of each other. I'm starting to struggle to identify them. I do apologize. Dudry has quite a good toe on the other car, pulling out before the kink. The Lola, even faster in a straight line, should be able to counter overtake before they get back to the kink. I expect the Ferrari to be able to outbreak the Lola Chevron as they make their way into the Barrage de Mulsanne. And a little bit of a kick before the fast kick, but no move there. Very, very smart, waiting until the exit and the run down to the braking zone over the crest. Jerka's unfortunately just not quite close enough to make a challenge for position. Loro here ahead of the other Ferraris in Class 1. Cooper going through. And then Shepard both cleanly. Both of them appearing to not lose much, if any, time to one another. And meanwhile, Dudry and Jerkass still fighting for position further down the order in Class 1. The Lola making use of its V8 torque and American engine to out-accelerate the Ferrari to their rather equivalent top speed side by side on the run to Indianapolis. Clean move, now on the brakes. And Jerkass regains and then maintains the position. And both of them through Indianapolis cleanly. Now, I expect the Lola should retain this advantage for at least the rest of this lap, all things considered. The straight line advantage really does come into play both down the Honduras straight and in the final sector after the technical sections. And here we see Scheller still ahead of Stavros, who, while struggling with damage, is managing to maintain a somewhat close pace to the other runners in Class 2. And here comes the move using the toe. And it looks like he's into the pits to repair whatever damage he has, or that could be Scheller in for his first stop already. Maybe an interesting strategy. Some short fueling happening to keep the amount of stops low in the Porsche 906 of Scheller. We'll have to see if that strategy pays out in the long term to stop early. The undercut is normally powerful in more modern cars that had tire wears, but these older 60s and 70s prototypes that do not wear tires, pitting early is not normally a safe strategy because you aren't going to gain enough speed from the fuel burn in a tire well to merit overtaking somebody in the pit lane by stopping before them. Ooh, and Willian off in the first corner and into the wall before the Dunlop Bridge here. And Shepard on Cooper down the Honduras Straight here. And the re-overtake attempt is immediate, as both of these cars are completely flat out and do not have enough power to overtake one or the other, and then stay ahead because the tow simply pulls their opponent right back by them. Running close before the kink. Slightly better exit by Shepard. The defense from Cooper is predictable. Over the hump and into the braking zone. They run side by side for Class 1 honors. Into the dirt a little bit from Shepard, but ahead by the entry of the corner. Cooper may be needing to overslow just slightly there. And now the tow, as they come by one of the Shelby Daytona competition coops. And Kuzina and Monspanner's Lola Chevron completely off the circuit past one of the ramps. Absolutely destroyed. That car must be out of the race and requires a teleport to pits. And it appears that Kuzina and Monspanner have elected to teleport to pits, losing a lap when doing so in order to have the vehicle repaired and stay in. The car of Shepard, no doubt due to the advantage of the tow, clocking the first 17.0 lap of the race from a Ferrari, and that's for the team. Connecto still retaining and building the advantage of the lead gained earlier out front in Class 2. And Gilman still recovering, now within 1.7 seconds of Willian in the higher car class far in front, and about 3.5 seconds of Klopstick and Vinny's Pease Flambe entry Porsche 906. The sun's starting to begin to set here as we come towards the end of the first cycle of pit stops. Kaminsky running comfortably in 8th.
Hey Ted, short interruption here from the technical side. I get reports that your voice is too low against the machine car sound. What should we do? Should I put up your user voice in Discord a little bit?
You could do. I've also turned the microphone gain on my microphone up.
Okay.
So we'll see if that's loud enough. I apologize anybody for the audio leveling issues. Zenalia actually started to gain pretty significantly on Beal out front in Class 1. And the Pease Flambe entry still all running knocked to tail in the Class 2. As we are now heading into the sunset, most of the cars with their lights on as it starts to darken. the implications of nighttime driving for many of the drivers will be interesting, considering the smaller cars have a shorter range of headlights, and the faster Class 1 cars may only be able to see 100 meters ahead while traveling at 340 kilometers an hour. Beal still leads comfortably up front into the twilight hour, as the Class 1 podium is Beal, Senalia, and then Beanley, and the Class 2 podium is Knechtel, followed by Starvos, now followed by Simo, Dalby, and the car of Gurkin. A little bit of confusion for me as William does pass one of the Class 2 cars for 12th overall on his recovery back towards the front of the field. The entry of Dalby and Gurkin now fighting the Peace Flambe entry of Klopstick and Vinny in the Jägermeister Porsche 906. As we are now side by side on the run down towards Indianapolis. Peace Flambe still clear of the other car. And no overtaking room here to make an ambitious route. Beanley with a personal best lap. Oh! And unfortunately some contact there between Dalby and the Peace Flambe entry. That just kind of looked like an awkward shuffle to me. And William now by Knechtel, last Class 2 car he needs to overtake on his way back towards the tail of the Class 1 field. Meanwhile, Sergio Loro, always a welcome sight on the field, continues his valiant drive. Excellent recovery, Sergio. We love having you. And Dudry appears to be in for his first full fuel stop. No driver change for the Tarnhorn Racing car, as Dudry is still in the car, but that is his first full stop. We should see the cars of Shepard and Cooper in this lap or next lap due to similar fuel consumption. And one of the Class 2 Shelby competition coupes apparently driving into the crowd out of the first corner, and now no longer shown on the server standings. That is typically indicative in Assetto Corsa of a disconnection, so unfortunately some issues befalling them. Gilman still recovering towards the tail end of the rest of the Class 2 field, now within about 10 seconds of the battle between Dalby, Klopstick, and William in the triage of Porsche 906s. We're now deeply into the dust as the sun begins to set, probably about 20 to 30 degrees over the horizon. And Stavros still incredibly close to some of the other Class 2 runners, despite what damage he may have sustained earlier. Now starting to catch the car of Knechtel and Moose in the lead. Have to keep an eye on that as Loro comes to complete another lap. And Scheller still at the helm of the racing entry, soldiering on. William getting all crossed up and in the grass to come by Moose at the head of the Class 2 field there. The car is quite badly scratched up. It certainly has seen better condition. And Stavros now within 3 seconds of the leader in Class 2, recovering quite steadily. Kaminsky about 1.5 minutes behind the next closest runner in Class 1. And Jerkaz with a personal best lap of a 17.6. That puts him within the same second bracket as the front runners of Beanley, Shepard, and Cooper currently. So the pace starting to come on for him. Hopefully we can see him continue to improve as the race goes on and challenge the others. The car of Knechtel and Moose in the lead in Class 2 with no lights on, as it looks like one of the Chevron Lolas or perhaps the Ferrari of William comes into the pits for his first scheduled stop since receiving damage earlier in the race. The cars of Shepard and Cooper still yet to stop. It would be interesting to see how long those cars run for, as they are the faster of the Ferraris. The Peas Flambe entry with Klopstick still at the helm for the first stint is now comfortably in the podium position, as several others have cycled through their pit stops. It will be interesting to see if that remains the case when the rest of the runners have also stopped, including them. Stavros now dangerously close to Knechtel. Although the car is weaker in a straight line, it can still take advantage of a tow from the Chevrolet. Still without its lights on, potentially having a problem as we come down the Honduras straight. Zenalia out front. Good solid pace, maintaining a healthy distance to Beal in the lead of Class 1 currently. The gap has been as low as 1 or 2 seconds and as far away as 10. The cars seem to be fluctuating apart and then back towards each other as they may potentially play with each other's limitations and paces. William in his freshly repaired car after his stop started to make his way towards the rest of the field. And Knechtel under pretty severe pressure from Stavros here. And a pretty clean move there, but not quite enough power to make it stick in the flat portion as you see. This car is equipped with a German carbureted either flat 4 or flat 6, rather low capacity racing engine for the day. Low cylinder count, low power. The emphasis was on lightweight and reliability. Jerkos with another personal best, improves by 3/100ths of a second to a 17.636 from a 17.666. Williams still recovering up the field towards other drivers in front. But first he needs to find his way through the Class 2 runners before he can find people he's actually fighting for position in Class 1. The gap in front between Zenalia and Beal now only a scant 4 seconds, down from 5. Beal still comfortably out front in Class 1 as Scheller is starting to make his way through some of the other Class 2 cars. And Beanley, the first of the podium cars in the pits. Zenalia also pitting from second position on exactly the same lap. Both of them running solo, so this will be a full stop without a driver swap required. And Beanley drops back to currently 6th, and potentially lower depending on how long the stop may take in Class 1. Meanwhile, Cooper and Shepard up front continue their little scrap, applying quite a significant amount of pressure to one another. And the Peace Flamblay car of Klopstick and Vinny having a little bit of a run-in with William in the Class 1 car. The Ferrari there. As we are now even more firmly into the twilight and the cars continue to steam their way down the Honduras Strait and on their run out of the Virage de Monson on the way to Indianapolis. Gilman now closed quite comfortably up to the tail of the car of Simon Dalby and Gurkhan. His recovery back towards the front of the Class 2 field should definitely be something to watch, as he only now has 3 more cars to overtake to find himself in the lead of this race. I have not seen him stop yet, nor have I seen the other top 3 runners in Class 2 stop. The only cars that appear to be going for short stops or undercuts are those with damage, and the only team that appears to be doing so intentionally so far is Scheller in Class 2. Gilman on Stavros there, out of the Maison Blanche onto the main straight. Excuse me, he's by Simo Dalby, who does appear to be slowing down and preparing for a pit lane entry, and will take a stop now, potentially a driver change maybe, as we near the halfway point of the race. Gilman now comfortably up into the podium positions on merit after his earlier off in Class 2. That's quite a story to watch out for. And Hikaru, Pittman, and Dudry still running comfortably just slightly deeper in the order in Class 1. However, ahead of several cars that are faster, such as a number of GT40s and Lola Chevron Chevrolets. Doing an excellent job. We'll have to see how their strategy works out with the fast fueling time of the Ferrari, which is slower than some of the other Class 1 cars on merit of raw pace. After the first cycle of pit stops, it appears as though Beal and Zenalia might both be yet to stop. However, Beal's lead has increased to about half a lap. It is no longer being read off in time for me. It is being read off in distance, which means it is pretty significant. Simo Dalby and Gurkhan's car now in the pits. Sergio Loro's car is also in the pits. Scheller goes by the car of Simo Dalby, which they were fighting earlier on track for position. So the early stop for the car of Johannes Fundel and Scheller appears to have actually been a very, very good decision. That clean air has netted them at least 1 position. We'll have to see if the Peace Flambe entry of Klopstick and Vinny comes in soon, and potentially Stavros to both take on fuel and fix that damage he had from his off when in the lead earlier. That should create a rather interesting situation where the tactics of Scheller and Fundel have allowed them to potentially overtake a car that is faster on merit of raw speed. That will create a very advantageous position for them that lets them dictate the race. Whether or not they should capitalize, only time will tell. Meanwhile, Shepard and Cooper still continuing their tremendous scrap up front. I believe both of them should likely come in for a driver change within the next 10 to 15 minutes here, as we are working lap 17, and a full fuel tank in the Ferrari did appear to be 18 laps, 19 laps, depending on if a driver could really stretch the limitations of the fuel window. Had to see what happens here as they both start to fight raw for position in the dead of night as we are now fully into the nighttime hours. Cars running their way down the Honduras Strait. And the car of Pitman and Dudry are past Jerkas on the pit stop cycle here. Making quite a good show. And the move from Cooper on Shepard does appear to be fairly textbook. Nice clean overtake, pulled abreast, pulled an overlap, outbraked, and then on the normal racing line out in front of the other driver. No contact, no mess, nothing dirty, very, very clean, very well done from both drivers. Scheller now with what appears to be a not insignificant amount of damage after potentially coming off at Indianapolis, mayhaps? Who appear to be running maybe slightly off pace compared to earlier. I can't tell if something untoward has happened or not. And Stavros still now behind Gilman, as Gilman has pitted this lap. Harry Gilman has pitted after overtaking many of the cars on his charge up front in Class 2. Beanley now out of the pit stop cycle in 5th position behind the car of Shepard and then the car of Cooper. And Stavros by Gilman, who still sits stationary in the pits, having just left his pit box. The Peace Bay car is going to be very close to him. And it appears as though the Class 1 cars of Shepard and Cooper just had an unfortunate run-in with one of the entries in a Porsche 906. Maybe some shuffling happening for position. But both cars stay out. Jerka's now up into 8th position. Coming under a slight amount of pressure by Franglais, about 3 seconds behind, and I believe what is the lowest or second lowest running Ford GT40 Mark IV. Both cars still making a pretty significant effort to stay up front there in Class 1. Many cars on the lead lap in Class 1, nobody to be lapped yet. Other than William and Loro, both of whom either had technical incidences or major accidents. Cars appear to be running very close still. Simo Dalby, after pitting at the end of the first pit stop cycle, about 5 seconds behind the car of Schroeder and Footbell, and Loro finally retiring the car and disconnecting from the server after a rather unfortunate race. Very good showing from him. He did the absolute best that he could. We appreciate him coming out to race despite the wheel issue early. Congratulations on your start. Sergio, we all appreciate your circuits and what you do for the community. We are sorry that you could not finish, but great job. So only 2 retirements so far. Knechtel still maintains the lead out in Class 2. Kuzana and Willian, after their incidents, run further down the order in Class 1 behind a number of the Class 2 cars, but still they do run, and they are rather close, only about a third of a lap apart, so we might want to keep our eyes on that as we get further into the pit stop cycle. And Beal is in from the lead. The leader, German Beal, is in his Chevron Lola T70 Mark 3B. Excuse me, he does not have a partner, so he will be doing his own solo stop, and to his finishing time, 200 seconds will be added at the end of the race to equalize the disadvantage of a 3-minute wait for performing a driver swap. We'll have to see how his race goes. He is racing Stefano Zanelia for position and for the lead, for they are both running solo and will have identical penalties at the end of the race. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. He is in the pits while still in the lead, and has not been overtaken by the car of Zanelia yet. And the car of Kuzana and Mon Spanner also now coming in for their first stop. There may be a driver's change taking place. Zenalia now within 25 seconds of Beal, who is still stationary at full tank. It does take about a minute to a minute and a half to put in the car. And Kuzina now out of the car, and the drivers swap into Monchbanor, or whichever driver started taking over for White. The relief will now take place. The relay is occurring. And it looks like Zenalia is still staying out and being off the course just slightly before Indianapolis, not into the wall. No contact, nothing extremely untoward. Fortunate. And again on the exit to Indianapolis, just a little bit of a touch of the grass, maybe some slight damage or tire wear on the Ford GT40 Mark IV, which does have more power than some of the other cars starting to take hold. I do apologize for that. We are working on our end to fix this and get right back to the racing. And here we go. Camera feed is back online. The car of Cooper and Stevenson running quite well up front. And the car of Shepard slightly behind. It looks like, judging by the pit stop cycle timings, that the car of Shepard has made their first stop, as they are now not insignificantly behind the car of Cooper, or perhaps they maybe had an off earlier. We'll check back in later. Meanwhile, Gilman has caught the Peace Farm Bay entry of Klopstick and Vinny, and is now applying pressure towards the front runners in class. After his pit stop cycle, he is cycled out in 4th position, now looking to have 3rd on track. Frongley still running a strong 8th overall. This Flambe entry still coming under pressure from Gilman here. Chases the car down on the run. And I will now leave you, as I will be taking my stint in my team's entry. Thank you very much for watching the broadcast. I hope you have a good day and enjoy the rest of the race.
So hello everybody, Pitman speaking here. I think Ted will have explained it. He has joined the car for his second stint in this team, and when Cooper stops his car and leaves the track, then he will join this commentary channel and will do the second stint of the commentary for you. Okay, bye bye, see you later.
good evening, everybody. My name is John Gray. My username is Cooper. Just in the stints there with me and Cooper and Stevenson. I'm new to the community. I've been asked to have a go at doing some commentary for you guys. It's like a different community, but good evening to you all. So we are around 1 hour, 5 minutes still to go. Various driver changes are happening at the moment, if not already complete. I think Pitman and Doodaroo is meeting at the moment, so maybe they're doing a pit stop driver change. Just kind of look at them actually. Are they in the pits? Looks like they're just coming out now. There's a bit of damage at the back of that car, as you can see. Hopefully my volume is loud enough. I think it sounds okay. I'm just going to catch up where everyone is. Currently running 4. We're very quiet. So I wondered, Vinny. Let's see what he's doing for one white game. Fingers crossed that works for you guys. So back to autocamis. We've got Herbert here in what looks like a Ford. Still too quick. Yeah, I wonder if this is still too quiet. It seems to be off now. Or maybe have I gone completely dead? Might work now, just confirm the settings. Might have to restart the app Yeah, I'm going to have to go to the Microsoft settings, aren't I? Let's have a look. Microphone. I've actually changed the game levels. It was maxed out. Levels is 100%. It's going to be as good as it gets, I think, for the moment. Check software. I think it's maxed out now as well. It's going to load for me. Yeah, it's on max as well. It's talk loud, I guess, for you guys. So let's do a quick recap then. So we are 25, just over 25 laps into the race. We've still got 59 minutes to go. See, Jonah's out in front, followed by Stefano's in third. Actually, let's go on board with these guys, see what cars they're running. It's in Ford out in front. Oh, that's a low, isn't it? yes he is. So I was racing him earlier in the race. They're quick in a straight line. I managed to catch him up around the sort of first second twisty bits. And of course the Ferrari just pulls away with a grunt. So FANATEC is running. Let's have a look as well. Maybe forward actually. Yep, number one as well. So those are second and third. Where's that in front? Fingers is must be a Lola. What is it? Level 4 maybe. So it looks like 2, 3, 4. We've got Hugh and Shepherd running in the Ferrari, same as me and Stevenson. Managed to come up to 5th now. I know they had a little off earlier, but then I had an off just before my driver change, which didn't help. So we're back at 5th, which is doing well. Now we've got Jurkus. So I'm down to 6. He's one having that off early on. My team was me and Stevenson. Oh, a bit damage there. Maybe that's from when I went off. But that would have cleared it itself. Unless that has hit the wall. And then we've got obviously Pittman and Doodley. Also, I believe in the Ferrari. How far back are they at the moment? So it says 0.1 of a lap behind. Oh no, 20 seconds now, there we go. So yeah, catching me and Stevenson up. So keep an eye on them for the battle for 7th. Hopefully Matt's got the pace to try and catch up with Hugh and Shepherd. It's in the chat there, so we had a server issue during the driver change. I think this is a little bit of trial and error for the guys. We'll learn a lot from this and then make some improvements for the next race if needed. Obviously the results we have on screen at the moment will change at the end. We've got a couple of drivers that are running on their own, so they'll have a 180 seconds penalty added because there's no driver change for them. You can tell the difference because you've got the names of the passing are the teams. So I'm currently watching here Nat coming up behind. Oh, just about to sit actually. Is that Lola? Yes it is, so we've got a nice little battle here going on. I can try to be louder. For some reason this mic just doesn't want to pick up as loud as I want it to be. I've tried changing the settings. What you can do is, because of Discord voice, next time if Pittman can turn up my actual volume on Discord itself. That's the problem, or we just have to turn the game volume down a bit. There we go, so Nat trying to get inside, hasn't got the straight line speed at the moment versus that. I'm sure it's happened to 5th place, the name's dropped out, it looks like maybe they've dropped out of the server. Nat's just around the outside, a good little move. Come up to the tight left and then into the 90-degree right. Go on board. So yep, Stevenson there up to 6. Not sure where 5th has gone. It's definitely, it says in the pits. Maybe they're doing their driver change. A bit late in the race, 15 minutes to go. I think we'll get a bit earlier, but the rules work out to be equal stints. So this might give a chance here for Stevenson to get up to 5th. Coming towards the end of the lap here at the moment, just up the hill. No, they're still getting the mirrors there of Nat. So got still disconnected from the server, so they must be doing a driver change as well. Oh, they're a bit dirt kicked by Nat, so okay. Stayed out of the wall. Who's that in there? Hello, dude.
Hey, Cooper, can you tweak your mic settings a little bit, maybe?
I've tried. So I've gained everything's all up on it as it is in the software for Logitech. I've gone into Discord. Output volume I've maxed up to 200% now. Okay. Dude. Sorry.
No, and then it is what it is. We can change the game volume, so it's fine. We can hear you, but sometimes when the cars are
Yeah, it's a bit, the car noise is a bit too loud. Maybe we have to turn it down. I wonder if actually if I can, yeah, I want to get out of the game screen. I don't really want to change screens on the team viewer just in case I mess it up.
Okay. No, it's fine. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll learn for next time. So we've got Hugh and Shepard up to 4th, Cooper and Stevenson up to 5th. Looks like Jerka's dropping back a little bit. So he must be suffering from damage maybe, or just doesn't have quite the pace at night time. It's quite a challenge, these cars at night, trying to see the peripheral vision left and right to get the apexes for the tight turns. Unless you've got a nice wide beam on your headlights, you're not going to see it. So still out front is Jonah and Beanley. So interestingly with that Ferrari, when I was racing them early in the race, their fuel tank must be a lot larger because they pitted I think maybe 6-7 laps later than I did. Maybe sort of 5 or 6 laps. So they can go longer stints, but then they also have to stop longer in the pits to fill that tank up. So it'll be interesting towards the end of this race how he's judged his fuel. If he gets the right amount in his last stops, it's not overfilled. So we've got 3 other teams in the pits at the moment, 9th and 10th, and 17th and 19th. Let's go back to the action here. We're now looking at Fandel and Schuller. Is he just behind? I've got to get these names right. Knetchel. This is the Class 2, the Porsche and also the Corvettes. They come a lot better than the other cars, but also they did suffer from the straight line speed. That's where they're losing all their time. We're now back on them with second place here, Binley. 0.2 laps behind currently in first. Third is 1.1 behind, so yeah, a bit of a gap there from second and third. We're now watching Huberts getting past Pitman here, with a bit of defending there on the outside. Oh dear, that's into the wall, not good. Is he going to recover and not go into him? No, he's kept it side by side. He's held, there's no damage from the contact wall. He's now dropped back to let the guy go in front. We'll see as he comes around here, if there's any damage to that. Panel damage on the textures. But that was a fight for position, so Huber now to 7th. So comment in the chat, thanks for that. A bit of commentary always adds to the video, it's not fun just watching cars go around about anything. Alright, here we go, so we've got Jerks actually now pitting. So that Lola's obviously run out of gas now, with 15 minutes to go. And where's he going to stop? So this is going to promote, we've got Herbert and Pittman hopefully. Now we're just watching Harry here come round. Cars Harry in, is that one of the, that's actually second class isn't it, so look on board. Someone else now watching towards the back of the grid, so this is airport. Still for lots of 49 minutes. Yeah, see, shows how dark it is actually, I'll get a bit of sunlight. Can't see. We're on a Corvette now, come around, that was the fast kink of the back straight. Just over the brow of the hill, coming down to the very long brink. Well, that would not go in the first sector, not bad. So we're turn 2 here, and going into turn 3. Short gear they're using in these cars. Those for the Ferraris now, it's second / third. Now we've got to all important right hander. In fact, I really should take control of these cameras, really, should I? So on here now, Hugh and Shepard. Nice Ferrari, the white, black and red livery. So let's go forward with these guys. There we go. So let's go on board and watch them for a lap a minute. So front, he's back marker while looks because he's still 16 seconds behind third. So they're doing well with Ted, making their way through the field. Once again, this is the important corner. You want to keep him tight and manage to get on the power early to get out to the straight. carry as much speed as he can down. He might just be first have to start picking up a slipstream. I'm not sure what they've done to their setup with this car, because there's a choice between going standard gear ratio or going for the longer ratio. Probably the longer one is you boost up a little bit of acceleration down this first part of the straight towards the last third to a quarter, you do have a high top speed, so you can actually pass the guy coming up to the braking zone. So you can see the car there has to put away. I think it has to be forward or lower, yeah, lower. So this straight just seems to go on forever and ever. But it's a nice chance, a little breather, have a look around. You've got this little corner coming up just over the brow of the hill. You've got all these light reflector markers which help to know when to turn into the apex, so right about there. It's a good turning. And then you come down here. Now in this Ferrari is interesting, the brows here on the front actually wants to lift off the ground. See it, there we go, just lifts up a little bit and then hit the 300 metre wide and slam on the brakes. Making sure not to lock up or lose the back end. But if you want to get the back end slide, the guy in front's gone wide. I guess he just wants to let Shepherd there go past. Nice turn in. Now onto the next straight. With two small kinks to the right. So there's Stevenson now, half a lap behind. It's not too bad. Ferrari's 4th and 5th. So we've come up to the next important braking zone. It's before the 100 metre board, down to 3rd. We want to get back in a little bit loose, but keeping it tight to the dirt. We do not want to run into this barrier here. Sit there, not too right, it's good. And we'll struggle to speed off here for this important left turn. Keep it tight and get the power early to get a nice exit. And then depending on gear ratios, you might hit the second limiter here just at 100 board to brake. And then again, you want to get on the brakes, get the back end a little bit loose to help you turn in like that. So just like cam steer is nice. And on the power down the next straight. Now this next bit's a bit tricky. You've got the double left, it's the right hander. If you turn in too soon, you might end up going wide onto the grass and the embankment and trees. Again, if you're too late, you want to steer as well and go wide. So you want to start turning about now. It's a little bit of turning, but cut into the dirt right there, which is good, spot on, and put that wide. And then the last corner is the tricky one. You just want to lift this right and then dash it forward to be on the safe side. There it goes, cut the dirt there. Run out to the dirt here, and back to power, and so back complete. So we're now aboard with Charlotte. So that's with Porsche. Keep their right to the sharp left. Running 13. 0.2 of a lap behind. We're now aboard with the Lola. Running now, top lap behind Herbert. Hello Faunstein in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well tonight and enjoying this racing. So good for 19 drivers. Obviously if we had all single drivers we could have almost added another sort of 7 to that. But we wanted to try out the team feature, which is kind of working, but we're not too sure about how the penalties are being applied for leaving too soon yet. So we'll update on that afterwards. So we go out front, so Vinny's out the lead, due to Jonah having to get this fuel, so he's currently 18 seconds behind. Now watching Flopstick and Vinny. A little bit got away with it. I was unfortunate just when my driver's changed and caught the dirt. I think it was that corner, there's another one. Literally just enough it spun me round and then for some reason killed my left rear suspension. So a few drivers in the pits and just dropped down from 16 to 17. See that changes. Driver still 17, should have moved to Dublin. Almost 30 laps complete, with 44 minutes to go. The sun will be starting to rise up soon, so the drivers will be glad and actually see where they're going now. Shepherd. Looks like Max gives the maybe drop back a little bit, staying about half a lap behind. Hopefully you can find some pace and catch them up. I think they should be due for a pit stop probably in about 10 minutes. So yeah, hopefully going forward we'll have a bit more of this sort of commentary for you going on. As I said, I've done this a little bit before my other community of racing. Just to do it for sort of historically in the evenings. So yeah, I might do some for special events. I'm hoping I'm going to take part in the Grand Legends league racing they're doing. Also with racing they're commentating it, I like driving it. But maybe I can do some recordings afterwards, maybe we'll post that. Lots of options available to us. Who's watching the stream? Please say hello. You can see all the links to the community, so if you are interested in racing here, please do follow those and join the Discord and say hello. So again, we're back on Klopstock and Vinny, down 14th. No one really, there's a car in front, but I think that must be back markers, they're still half a lap behind. Wide, no, keep it out of the dirt, just keeps it out. Although that would have scrubbed a lot of speed, so he's going to lose the momentum down the main straight here. Out front, we've got Jonah definitely catching up to Bingley. But William here is 5.5 seconds behind Hughes. Let's go back to tracks on view as well. Who's he got behind that? That's back marker behind, it must be. There we go, so we've got Bingley in the lead. Let's go to manual camera. And let's go to Jonah. So it's 11 seconds back. Can he see the Ferrari yet? I think he just did over the brow of that hill. So he has got his sights set on that red Ferrari. Both first, second and third are single drivers. So they will not be doing any driver changes. But we'll get this 180 seconds added to the end of their overall time. Stevenson's definitely dropped behind Shepherd. It's down to 0.6 for a lap. Stephen has got Kaminski 15 seconds behind. Keep an eye on that, maybe he's catching. Maybe Kaminski might get that 5th place. Yeah, 1 minute to go. Yeah, it definitely looks like we lost 4 drivers, so we've got 15 still in the race. Let's go watch here, we've got a bit of battle going on here. Looks like Nice must have got past, we've got a bit more as well. So 8th place, yeah, so they must be lapping there. That's interesting. Hugh and Shepherd now catching up to Frank Gallis. Oh, okay, we got Stevenson in the pits then, so that way, so his pit stop I thought was about now. It's roughly about 40 minutes fuel lost, so he should be refueling now to the end of the race. Well, that seemed to be, maybe it was a bit early, maybe he had a crash. We'll see in a minute, maybe he's repairing. Looks like the car's stuck as well, actually. That doesn't seem right. What's happened there? The car's doing something really odd. I think he's stuck. He might have to do a teleport to pits. I might go and find out in a minute. He looks really stuck. We'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to check what's going on with him. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to chat with Nat, see what was going on. When we came to the bottom of it, he's using a new button box he'd set up, and one of the buttons must be mapped as a teleport to pits. He was trying to find the button to do his lights because they automatically turned off and he had them back on. And it, yeah, just pressed that button, and then he also got the wrong one or something. It was weirdly mapped, and it jumped to the pits, and it was constantly re-teleported him. So he tried to quit out, come back in, and then yeah, flip one of his other switches, and then it stopped. So yeah, unlucky for him. We've had to drop down from 5th to 8th now. I'm not sure also what penalties it might have given us for it constantly doing a teleport to pits, but live and learn. I won't do that again. So out in front, yeah, I just missed this. So Binley is down to the pits, so he's obviously getting his refuel. Might be his last one, I suspect. It's probably the longest stop because he's got the fuel tank in that car. Looks like in front, it's out Shepherd's. It's one of the white Porsches by the looks of it. So it looks like third is actually going to go up into second now. So he's going to go past the red car. There he goes. So he should get promoted up to second. Well, it hasn't yet. Maybe he's a lap down. No, actually, maybe he's a full lap down. It's interesting if he is. I thought they were further up than that, but obviously he must have been lapped. And there we go. So there's Shepherd now into the pits as well. It should be his last stop, because I know these cars can run for at least 40 minutes on a tank. Harry here has got something behind him, which looks like just a back marker has got past. And the battle's going on. Oops, that blue car's got a little bit wide there. There we go. So we'll just get out of the way of the white car. Out of the pits now, so it wasn't too long. Still in second place. So yeah, everyone else apart from the first two are lapped down by the looks of it. So there's just 1 and 2. I guess actually that would make sense because they've all done a driver's change and they haven't. So we do need to add an extra or take a lap off what they're complete. Looks like Binley's got Pittman and Dudery there now. Yes, he has. Custom livery, which looks quite nice, so the yellow, white and green. And he's got a custom Honda over name on as well. Is he catching up? He should be, before I will be quicker. You should see him start to catch up into the mirrors of this car. So is the Ferrari going to catch him just at the wrong spot here? He might do actually, because we've got this little kink right. Is the Ferrari going to go for it? So the Ford, yes it is. So let him go, I guess, because he is a back marker, so he should do. Although the Ford's going to run wide. Keep thinking it's the Ferrari because it's red. And he's 0.3 behind the leader. Can't see him going to be catching him at the moment unless there's a mistake by the guy in first. Both continue through there. And the battle's going on. So Harry's the only one that's got any sort of battle going on at the moment. He's 17 seconds behind Stavros in front. So let's do a little recap. So there we go. So that's your leader, Jonah. And that white and striped Lola. Not sure what time it is in game at the moment, but it must be sort of early morning still. I think we raced through until, I think it was a 1:30 PM start. So yeah, 33 minutes to go at times 10 times progression. So yeah, so in second we've got Binley there, still Pittman behind. Fran coming down the start line now. There's Hugh and Shepherd. See if it gets through. Okay, it should do. Just cut that dirt there on the inside. Nicely done. So then in 5th we have got Hubert running, that looks like Ford, or is that? No, it's a Ferrari as well. Let's see if he stops it okay into this 90-degree right-hand bend, or is he going to overshoot? I think he's okay. No, that's fine. 6th we've got Joker S in the other Lola. Not running as quick as the guy up front. Maybe he's down to the stuff, I don't know. Go back and try this car out again. And then so yeah, 7th we've got running Pittman and Dude. Then we've got my team of Cooper and Stevenson, kind of 0.3 behind, so maybe I'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe he's going to catch Pittman down. Nice if he could, after the error of the button box we had. Oh, yeah, we kept it out of the dirt, that's good. Just going forward. Let's see how well Matt's doing on his laps. Shame we've got no sort of overlay to know what lap times they're doing, really. I'll have to look into that, see who's doing it. Ah, right, here we go. Are we doing a fuel stop? Must be. So it looks like the teleport to pits didn't update his fuel, so he still had the same amount. So now he's going to have to do the stop for his fuel. There we go, as it stopped. Yep. Oh no, I must have. Oh, what happened there? Did he overshoot it? Not sure what quite happened there. Looks like another little error going on here. Maybe overshot the box. There we go. Now it's registered. Not sure quite what happened there. Maybe the pit box didn't show up. Again, a bit of a learning experience going on for this. So a little bit of history on this livery we've done for this car. This was in tribute of... oh, I forget who it was now. Weird detail. Yeah, Milko Alberto, actually. So the F1 driver. George driving number 27. Kind of popped his Cadillac skin a little bit. Just give you logos on it. Get a better look of it. It's a bit red and black, so we tried to do a sort of black on the front and rear to do with the sort of wings that the Ferrari F1 car had with that same colour. And then we've got the same sponsors on it as well, and we even got the actual helmet of the car, similar to his as well, of yellow and blue. There we are. So we'll have a look at the other liveries to see what else is done. So maybe as well, it's quite nice. To see which one you think is your favourite. Yeah, pretty standard. Maybe that's a standard Ford one we went with. That's quite good. That kind of, because it's a speed racer look, the white car, this is a red stuff, I think it's quite a nice looking one. It's like a speed racer look. And France, yeah, it's a pretty standard look for the period, a bit like the Golf livery. Looks like these two are actually running, oh interesting, they're on the same skin, I guess they are. So we've got some more stops going on here, what's going on? Alerted me from the place, but not actually. Maybe it was. Oh, okay, he's in the pits, that's what alerted me to. So now he's doing his last stop. So 28 minutes to go. He's going to be fueled till the end. So, the deliveries we got. So yeah, there you go, there's the Pitman one. So I guess they did this half and half. One on the side. There's number 4. And then we've got 76 for Dude on the other side. A little bit of power over the slide as he comes out. Myself and Stevenson's. Stavros, so running just a little red and white. Simple. In the other car. Stingray, nice refreshing look. And then we've got one of the other Porsches here. Typical black and yellow look. And shell logos on the side. And then we've got Chopstick and Vinny. That's an interesting one. Oh yeah, they had comments about this. Got the duct tape on the front there as well. So nice little clever look to it. So it looks like a little bit of damage, and also around the headlights. So that's really cool. So yeah, that's standard livery or not, but yeah, it's quite a standard look for the car. And further back, I'm guessing that must be one of the other loaders. I'm surprised they're down 80 actually, because I think they qualified in front of me. Fourth, third. Behind me at the start, they had a bit of a bad start, so I have to wait for them. Back to track side. Let's see, he's out front. Beanley is still second, almost half a lap now down on Jonah. Looks like Hugh and Shepherd now have actually got up to third after Fran had his stop. So, lap down. That could be actually interesting. This is exactly a lap down. The guys in front are going to get a 180-second penalty. So it could be close actually. Actually, it's that lap down the other one now. It's a bit over. It's a lap and a half behind. So yeah, first should be okay. It's second and third. They're actually technically still fighting for it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, so Finley might end up coming actually third. Who's second? I think they've done their stops to the last stop, so they should get to the end. So Stevenson's still 0.6 of a lap behind Pittman and Douche. Any other battles going on? Looks like it's catching up on Fran here or something. Not sure who's in front of Hugh and Shepherd there actually. This must be a back marker. Just gets out of the way there. Oh, it's going to go into the wall. That's going to be contact, not good. Just got away with that, but it could be side damage or even steering damage. They're still going okay. Must be a lap down on the guys in front. Yeah, I'm not taking to count all that, I think it's. So it looks like these guys are all together, but it's actually good checking for something a lap ahead. So I'll work out who's battling. Oh, someone's going on there. I'll actually slow down for the corner. I've lost no. Pittman, Joker. I guess it is. Oh, it is Bentley and Hugh actually. So technically, this is actually a fight for the for second. Because Hugh and Shepherd are a lap down, but Bentley has got almost a lap's worth of penalty added because he has to go on a driver's change. So technically they are racing position for these two. So keep an eye on this. So keep us actually in the pits, so we'll keep us see if Jerker and Pittman go front. So he's still in the pits. They're not close enough yet, so we might be out before he has to drop any positions. So we've got Hugh in the shot there, Shepherds. We've got Binley, and then we've got Pittman. So Hugh and Shepherd must have lapped Pittman here, definitely. So what Pittman needs to try and do is catch up to him, put some pressure on to make a mistake, make him to go off and crash. He needs a chance to catch up a lap. So yeah, try to get in his mirrors and put some pressure on him. How's the stream looking? Still all smooth? Looks like it is. So yeah, if you're in the chat guys, or if you're listening, just post in the chat, say hello. Those sort of questions maybe you want to ask, I'll try and do my best to answer. So we've got 22 minutes of the race to go. That's good. What's Hubert doing? I thought he was in the pits. No, let's go back to the pits maybe. Ah, it was like Pitman must have had a crash there because he just teleported to the pits. That's interesting. So that's helped myself and Stevenson get in front, depending on who comes to the end. Although, yeah, the time board's got a bit weird actually. I'm not sure what's going on with the time board. So it's still 6. I can teleport to the pits, but it must have just been a glitch or something, I don't know. But Hubert is still in the pits, so actually this is interesting. Well, there we go, so he's just finally left. How close are we? No, we're not close enough yet. So he's on to 6, so he didn't lose a position. Still got this battle for 2nd and 3rd. This is where it is. 21 minutes to go. Shepherds need to get the pressure on that for Ford in front. We were racing him early in the first part of the race. He was starting to make a few mistakes, but I guess that was the other. I know it was the same driving field, so to keep the pressure on him, he could make an error. And as long as they stay right behind him with the 180 seconds added, which is not even quite enough, is it? Because it's 3 minutes 18 a lap. So they actually need 198 seconds added to it. So they do need to get past him and gain about 18 seconds, I think, to get that 2nd position. But I'm sure they'll be happy to get 3rd. Because they do know a lot of fast cars in qualifying. And they only qualified, I think, 6. I think it's 6th they qualified, yeah, just behind us because we were 5th. So to start 6th and to be up to 3rd is a very good performance. Damage doesn't look like it. Go on board a Hugh and Shepherd. Ah, it looks like the leader's in the pits actually, so he wasn't fueled to the end, so he's now putting in the fuel he needs. So I'll keep an eye on this. So there's only 0.3 of a lap behind Hindley. So how much fuel does that Lola hold? Will it be a long stop for him? I don't think he's going to be close enough now. He's still quite a way back still. I suspect he'll come out in the lead, but it'll be close. So it's coming to that brow of the hill. Oh, he's still in the pits. Must be almost done. Doesn't take too long to fill these tanks. There we go, so he's on his way out now. There's a bit of a line to get his wheel. We've just got someone else coming up behind. He's going to have to keep in tight so doesn't get in their way. Rolling. And 2nd is through the kink, so he's down the main straight now. So no, can't see him yet. So yeah, got about a couple of corners between them. But it means he is on the lead lap with the leader. It's just from 3rd down a lap behind more due to the driver changes. So yeah, Hugh and Shepherd just need to try and get the pace up and get in front of this Ferrari. If we get another little gap from him, then we'll have the next 2nd, which will be a great achievement for them. Meanwhile, further back, so yeah, Pitman is actually now down in 8th behind Cooper and Stevenson. And this will happen there. So Nat Stevenson is trying to chase down 6th, half a lap behind Hubert. They're sliding nicely through the S-bends. A nice little bit cam steer, that's nicely held. And here comes this important corner for the main straight. Let's see how he gets round here. Don't want to slide it too much, just want to keep the momentum going, get that extra speed, or a bit of understeer and oversteer, so that won't have helped. He moves a bit of top end, but with that car, it's not going to really hurt him. Let's see how Stevenson's doing. The car, is it handling okay? The car looks okay there. I'm just going to go on board actually, see how he's driving. That's the best for you to try. That one. So the last sector now. 90 degree right, so keep in tight there. Don't get onto that little sand dune on the outside, which is what I hit on my stint. And now a little double left-hander, and then the tricky right-hander, what you don't want to turn in too soon, but you don't want to oversteer it and scrap the speed. So go left here, just catch that apex there. Look for Marcus on the right there. Now start getting some input in, go into the dirt. That's a bit what I did. I didn't do that. Run it out wide. Now this is a really tricky corner. It's how brave you're going to be. Way down to the ball. Well, it's a pretty fit. Good. So got it stable enough to do. It's nice and held. So Adam's going still 10th is 7.5 seconds behind, or 8 seconds behind 9th. Meanwhile, the leader, so yeah, 16 seconds behind. Which has got good in front as well, so I'll be lapping him. Oh no, see, there's that mistake there. Alright. Looks spectacular going sideways, but it's not the quickest really. Still got the pressure there from Hugh and Sheffield in third. We just need to try and get a bit closer, so we've got the quick there trying to go past someone. Just that's for lap marks, yep, so that'll be the Porsche has gone past. So where is the Ferrari? They have to catch up to the Porsche. Let's go back to that view. Let's try that one. So you don't really want to get behind that Porsche at the right, the wrong spot. It's going to be tricky here. It keeps the inside. Don't go into the side of it. Keeps it tight. Probably lost a little bit of speed. So has Hugh and Sheffield managed to catch up a little bit on that? Not really. So they've managed to gain for it, although I'm just going to go for the kick. Okay as well. Ferrari's catch up Pittman in front. We'll be lapping him again. So I suspect that'll make it 2 laps down for Pittman. So he gets out of here. So from this Ford, you do have to brake quite early compared to the cars, which caught me out in the Ferrari. The Ferrari can brake really late. This is one advantage. Not possible there, but that's what you want to do. You want to capitalise on the whole width of the track. Here we go, the important corner. Can he keep up the momentum through it? Does. So look at you and Shepard. I passed Pittman yet? Actually, he did. Actually, it wasn't Pittman, was it? What happened there? Oh no, then I passed him. That's right. So yeah, so that Ferrari should. Sorry, the Ford should catch up the Ferrari here. Speed difference is quite astonishing, really. Although that Ford doesn't call him yet, it's going to catch him right at the wrong time. So you do not want to be trying to go up the inside of someone here on this little brow of the hill. You've got to hope for the other guy to back off, because if you push that wide, you're going to collect him. I think he's got away of it. Yeah, he's already passed, so he's backed out a little bit. There we go. Which is the good thing to do. And it looks like Hugh and Shepard actually dropping back here from so you see there, the Ford has to get on the brakes really early. We'll see the Ferrari catch up a little bit under the brakes. Hopefully it doesn't catch him too much and end up hitting the back. It doesn't, just about stops. Although it's gone up into the dirt, just keeps it out of it. And then the Ford goes off again on the acceleration, says goodbye to Pittman. See there in the back there, Hugh and Shepard still. Desperately trying to catch this Ford down. Even though if they can get past and get a little bit of a gap, they will actually finish second overall. Barring any other penalties that might have picked up along the way. Let's have a little recap then. So Jonah still out in the lead, almost 39 laps complete with 13 minutes to go. Currently watching Bingley here in second in the Ford. We've got Hugh and Shepard in the Ferrari currently running third, potentially their second overall. We've got Fran running down in fourth. We've got Jerker fifth, Hubert in sixth. Cooper and Stevenson running 7th, we've got Pittman and Doon running 8th, Harry running 9th, and Stavros is running 10th. And then behind that we've got the other teams of Muse, I'm guessing is racing maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure which the guys are doing. Findell and Schuler, Dropstick and Vinny, and then the other two 15 and 16. Shepard haven't caught up Pittman yet. So Pittman's holding his ground, a bit slow. Also just been unlucky maybe with incidents. So let's put it back on auto camera to see what it reckons to be watching. Not sure what's really watching his car at the moment, it's nothing random. Nearest person's 0.4 of a lap behind. Going in 10th. Any changes yet? No, looks like it's still station crew at the moment. Currently watching here, Herbert in 6th. And another back marker there getting out of the way. Yep, does nicely. I might just drop out the chat a second, just catch up on that, see how he's doing. I should be back in a minute. I'll leave you to watch with the auto camera on. Just got up in that, doing okay. Consistent pace, doesn't feel like he's got his quickest pace he had earlier, but he's doing okay. So currently watching now Jerker in that Lola, running 5th. He was up near the sort of 2nd, 3rd position early in the race, but he made an error. And since then he hasn't really been able to capitalise and get back. So now we've got Hugh and Shepard going past Pittman, or he's trying to. I think Pittman's seen him coming and is trying to get out of the way a bit, whereas he's being lapped. So yeah, around the outside, nicely done. Across the racing line. Not brake too soon and catch them out. See how the car's handling them. See the nice glow from there from the brake disc. Let's go and spin the camera around on them actually. See where those brake discs are going. Oh, I just missed the corner. I think I'm on the straight already. No, there we are. Can we see them go? There we go. Nice. Oh, Barrett gets in the way, but yeah, you can see them nicely flown. Behind. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, nearly contact there. What happened there? Missed outside. So Pittman was defending a bit inside, and the other Ferrari was trying to go past them as well. Trying to get a nudge. Not sure if they realise they're actually lapped apart here. So they're going to go side by side still down the straight. Pittman's going to have to yield going behind. Looks like someone's now in the pits, down in 12th. do here is he's going to get the slipstream and try and outbrake the guy in front. Doubt it. But just try and stay behind and just keep pushing him along for the rest of the race. 7 minutes to go. So we're probably going to get at least 2 laps in, maybe a third, depending on how quick the leader is and when he starts the last lap. Oh, we've got someone overshot the corner there. I'm not sure who that was. Oh, it's Herbert there. So yeah, just overshot the corner. Let's reverse it back and get going again.
Hello, this is
Hello.
Team SG Stern, number 42 Corvette.
How are you doing?
Well, we just blew up our engine coming into
Oh
Mosa,
no!
so
Really?
we're setting in the pits now for about 300 seconds.
Oh. How did it blow? Is it just downshifting or?
Yeah, we had an issue with shifting down too early, too frequently with Chris behind the wheel. And we were already on a red engine for the last, I don't know, 50 minutes or so, and now finally gave up the ghost.
Oh dear. So well, you got 2.5 laps to the person behind you. So you're probably going to hold on to your position still if you're lucky.
Sounds like it.
About 6 minutes, yeah. So how long was the penalty?
It was about 320 seconds.
Yes, that's about a lap, so you'll be alright. We'll come out sort of a lap ahead.
320 seconds, about 5 minutes-ish.
Oh yeah, so you're right, isn't it? It's double, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, it could be close. Be a race to the end for you guys.
Thank you. We'll try to salvage whatever is possible. And
Yeah.
thank you very much and keep up the good work.
Cheers, enjoy the race.
Thank you.
So yeah, as you heard there, car number 42 blew the engine, running red for about 15 minutes, and yeah, it finally gave go. So they've now got a pit for a penalty for a little bit. Oh, we've got Hugh and Shepherd in the pits here, so what's going on here? They had to do a quick splash and dash. That's interesting. Yeah, 5 minutes to go. Looks like they didn't quite have enough fuel put in. So they're also trying to cut it close. So how's that going to shape things up? Fran is, okay, he's down the start main line here, so he's got a chance. Close, it'll be like 2 laps. The car's quick, but I don't know if he's quite got the pace to catch them up, so Hugh and Shepherd might be okay. It's interesting because they have to do a quick splash there. Right, it's the 42 car. It's still in the pits at the moment with 2 laps between them, so they should hopefully be okay. They'll come out just in front. So as you can see here, Fran then is 17 seconds behind third, so he's going to be desperately want to be trying to catch them up and get that podium. But I don't know if he's got the pace. I've got a feeling Hugh and Shepherd have got the pace here to keep it, barring any mistakes. And that's still 0.6 behind 6, so I don't think that's going to change. So yeah, I think Stevens is going to be finishing 7th. Hubert, I think, will be 6th. Can't see that going to change either. Just depends if any of these guys in front have got the fuel enough to the end. Leader here coming up on marker. Jolly really, he's done a splendid job. Just pulled away from the start. I think no big dramas. As soon as he goes past here at Daytona. So Hugh and Shepherd, yeah, so they've dropped more behind that Ford, so there's no way they're going to get that second now, unless that Ford has to stop at all. Doubt it. Fran now down, what's saying, 11 seconds. If that's right, they're catching. Well, it's probably going to go up again now because he's got to slow down for that corner, hasn't he? Yeah. Meanwhile, car 42 is still in the pits. Still got a lap and a half gap to the guy behind, Dropstick and Vinny. So they've still got to do another lap yet and a half till they can get that position off of them. So battles, nothing really going on here. Here's Pittman to no own. Let's go back to auto camera and see what it reckons to watch. So I reckon there's a Fundell and Schuyler. is the leader, so he's going to be, let's have a look, main straight, isn't it? Try and work out where the leader is, see how long we've got left. Looks to be the main, yeah, it's the main straight, isn't it? So we're going to have possibly this lap and just the one more, I suspect. So yeah, 2 laps in total, a lap and a half. Looks like Stevenson just got past the back marker there as well. Hasn't outbraked himself, I hope. No, all good. Looks like Ted here is actually coming up to lap 6th place. So he's already lapped us. So watching here as he comes around. Is the car going to get out of the way? No, he doesn't yet. Nice exit speed he does. Nicely held. Although the other car should technically pull away because I thought they got more speed. Let's go on board Hubert actually. My car's twitching around there as well. That car must have damage. It's so twitchy on the steering, as you can see. So already Hugh and Shepard going past to lap him. That car seems to be a little bit twitchy going on the straight. I don't know if it's just set up or not, or just damage. You can see there's just occasionally a little bit of adjustment on the steering. Although he's now got back in front with that top end speed, as you can see, now pulling away from Hugh and Shepard. We'll see how he is in the brakes. How well is it going to stop? Is he going to be all over the place on the braking? Is he going to leave it too late? We'll wait and see. Okay, at the moment, he's on the brakes early. See what happens to Hugh and Shepard behind. Are they going to get up inside? No, not yet. So he's held it okay. Arrow going too much? No, it's okay. So yeah, just stays in front. But ideally, he should be letting them past. I don't know if there's blue flags in this or not, if that applies. It's going to be a lap down. But actually, the good thing is, if Hugh and Shepard can hold him up, so gives Nat Stevenson a chance to try and catch him a bit. Meanwhile, the leader is actually... Oh, is that race over? I think we are race over actually, so that finished earlier than I expected. I thought it was going to get another lap, but it isn't. So our race winner is Johan there. So well done to him. Second and third, I don't know what's going on with the screen boards. But they seem to have finished already. Something's odd's going on here. I think maybe it's just because the way the server's finishing. Put us down in 17th. I'm not sure if that's applying penalties. It could be. Or it could have left the server. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure what the actual final positions are there. If that's true or not. It's showing us down in 17th when we were 7th. Shepard at 10th, but maybe it's applied penalties. I think we've got picking up in 6th. See if you change position in a minute when I go across the line. Could just be the positions of finish, I guess. Doesn't take into account the overall times. But hopefully you all enjoyed that. Tried to do my best there, the volume being a bit lower than it was. As I say, this is my first time racing with this community. I've always wanted to go into more of the classic cars and never played this game until about 2 weeks ago. Actually really enjoying it. Until now I've been playing mainly Project Cars 2, Central Course Competizione, Race Room, iRacing. But yeah, never played this game, no, I don't know why I never did. But with the mods and the Soul updates, it's really nice. Going round here on the track. the time boards, results of penalties, driver change, doing more things. We'll have to find out. And yeah, people are starting to leave already, so. So I suspect, yeah, it was Jonah first, Binley second, and then Hugh and Shepherd in third. Would be my prediction of final results. And we go, Cooper Stevenson just finished. Again, it's showing 14th, but we were actually second 1 point. I'm sure what happened there. Who just joined? Hello, Pitman.
Yeah, the Pitman, hi. Race over for most, or for everyone?
Just about now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure the timing screen on the stream when people finish is a bit odd. I don't know if that's the actual results or not. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think we have to calculate, maybe recalculate. We have to view them on the server manager now. I will stop the stream now.
Cool.
But thanks for commentating this race. I had no chance to hear what you do, but I think it was phenomenal.
Good. Yeah, we'll get better. Right, I'll quit out of the team chat.